This is the better way, the older than ancient way of loving. And it works. And I hope this book, broken into 3 sections, will help. Here's how. We first need to tackle the mystery and genius of God, before we delve into the practical moments lived out in real time. For those of you who are more nuts and boltsy, your section is coming later. We will consider one of the mind-bending realities of our faith. But don't despair. This doesn't mean it will be mind-numbing. This could actually be interesting. At this point, I feel like the middle school math teacher trying to keep the back row awake. Algebra is cool. If you put enough exclamation points behind a statement, it does sound exciting. Theology can be fun. Section 1 will be fun. A deeper understanding of God will give us a clearer view of why the way we treat one another matters so much and how our lives fit together. Therefore, Section 1 is definitely worth your attention. The next section, Nuts and Bolts, will explore the various aspects of what it will mean to live out the mystery. Each chapter addresses a particular value found in Scripture that is key to us living differently in these fractured times. For example, a healthy culture, humility, the power of words, what it means to collaborate, and entering the chaos and hurt of another. It's not an exhaustive list by any means, but it's a place to begin. Interspersed throughout are stories, shark diving, a scary moment in a train station in India, sitting in a refugee tent on the Syrian border, staring into a cobra's eyes, even some of the behind-the-scenes moments working in Ferguson, Missouri before, during, and after the grand jury announcement regarding the shooting of Michael Brown. These stories are all true, and God is still teaching me through each of them, but they are my stories. Hopefully, they will stir your imagination and start conversations around that next step God is calling you to take. Then finally, the last section, the rest of the dream. It's only 1 chapter because there's still much to be written, stories yet to live and tell. But if what has preceded makes any sense at all, this chapter will offer specific ideas for how each of us can take this wild vision of God's even further. It is time for a revolution of sorts, and this will involve some risk. But those God-ordained, faith-fueled steps you take could change the world. I really believe this. I'm not suggesting this book will change the world, but I do think it can encourage partnerships between people and organizations who, by the grace of God and His Spirit working through them, could still change the world. I know that what I've just described sounds overwhelmingly global, but in the end, this journey will be intensely personal. This is how we will lead, by how we love. Before the great I Am spoke blazing galaxies into existence, there was and still is something confronting us. And the sheer beauty of this truth, the genius of it, if you will, won't just change you and me, though it most certainly does that. It actually begins to shape the world around us. You might even say that this is one of the ways in which God is still repairing this fractured world. It is perhaps one of the most tangible ways that others will hear His voice, or at least begin to listen for His voice. It is how we will reflect the glorious transcendence of our God into the dark corners and deep chasms of our day. Now it is time to scoot to the edge of our own white folding chairs and listen, to think hard and stay honest, to pray big prayers, for the moment is coming soon for us to act, to live and love differently. Our gracious God is summoning us to a different, better, older than ancient way, and this way will not be boring because essentially none of this is about us. It is about the infinite, all-powerful God who cannot be contained by our 3-pound brains. That's where the genius comes in. It's Him. Always Him.